welcome back to the channel. I'm Stacy and you're watching Pop Culture Time Machine, where we hit rewind and relive the legendary, the cringy, and the unforgettable moments that happened this very week, way back when. All right, let's kick it off with Jimi Hendrix recording Voodoo Child's Slight Return on May 3rd, 1968. It is one of those moments where music culture and identity intersected to leave a lasting mark on pop culture. Hendrix's performance on Voodoo Child showcased unprecedented guitar techniques, feedback, wah-wah, and controlled distortion. Pop culture immediately recognized the electric guitar as a voice, not just an instrument, a tool for emotional and social expression. This inspired generations of rock, metal, blues rock, and even hip hop sampling culture. 1968 was a year of political upheaval, civil rights struggles, and anti war protests. Hendrix, as an African American virtuoso dominating a genre often associated with white audiences, represented artistic freedom and cultural rebellion. Voodoo Child became a symbol of individuality, empowerment, and defiance, ideas central to the late 1960s counterculture. The song blurred the lines between studio recording and live improvisation, which became a pop culture norm in rock music. Hendrix's use of effects and tone manipulation changed expectations of what recorded music could sound like. It reinforced the idea that albums could be artistic statements, not just collections of songs. Voodoo Child has become a benchmark of rock greatness. Any guitar driven band or soloist is measured against Hendrix. Its riffs, solos, and tone are instantly recognizable worldwide, making it part of pop culture's musical lexicon. Countless films, commercials, video games, and covers have referenced it, embedded it into global consciousness. Hendrix combined blues, rock, psychedelia, and improvisation, reflecting a cross pollination of African American and mainstream pop culture. This fusion influenced not just music, but fashion, art, and attitudes of the late 1960s and beyond. The recording of Voodoo Child's Slight Return didn't just make Hendrix famous, it shifted pop culture's understanding of music, performance, and identity. The song symbolizes guitar as a revolutionary voice, music as social and political expression, innovation that transcends genre and generation. It's more than a song, it's an enduring cultural touchstone. Let's not forget those iconic movies like Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, which premiered on May 9th, 1958. And while it wasn't an immediate popular hit, its long term impact on pop culture has been enormous. Over time, the film reshaped how audiences, filmmakers, and critics think about cinema itself. At the time of its release, Vertigo confused many viewers. Instead of a conventional thriller, it offered obsession instead of heroism, psychological collapse instead of resolution, desire as something disturbing, not romantic. This challenged 1950s Hollywood norms and helped open the door for more psychologically complex, morally ambiguous films in later decades. Vertigo became a blueprint for unreliable perception, obsessive love stories, identity doubling, and illusion. You can see its influence in films like Taxi Driver, Mulholland Drive, Black Swan, The Matrix, themes of constructed reality. It showed pop culture that suspense didn't need action, it could live inside the mind. Although not fully appreciated at the premiere, the film introduced visuals that became cultural touchstones, like the dolly zoom, often called the vertigo effect, to show disorientation. Bold use of color, green especially, to signal obsession and unreality, dreamlike editing, and music that blurred fantasy and reality. These techniques are now standard tools across movies, TV, music videos, and advertising. Over time, Vertigo became central to discussions about the male gaze, control and transformation of women in media, romantic obsession as a form of violence. Kim Novak's character is now frequently analyzed in feminist film theory, making the film a key reference point in academic and cultural debates. At its premiere, Vertigo was seen as too slow, too strange, too bleak, but decades later critics reevaluated it. In 2012, it displaced Citizen Kane as the greatest film ever made in Sight and Sound's critics poll, an extraordinary reversal. This transformation itself became part of pop culture lore. Vertigo symbolized how art can be misunderstood in its own time. In simple terms, the premiere of Vertigo didn't immediately shake pop culture, but its afterlife completely changed it. It taught audiences and creators that movies could be unsettling, introspective, and deeply psychological, and that those qualities could endure longer than box office success. Here is your Did You Know of the Week. On May 4th, 1979, May the Fourth be with you, Star Wars Day has become one of the clearest examples of how fan culture reshaped pop culture itself. Unlike studio created holiday, Star Wars Day started as a joke, a wordplay on May the Fourth be with you, used casually by fans decades before Disney embraced it. What's culturally important is that fans, not corporations, created the tradition. Pop culture shifted from being delivered to audiences to being co-created by them. For a pun to become a global holiday, a franchise has to be instantly recognizable across generations, embedded in everyday language, larger than any single movie. So May the 4th shows that Star Wars isn't just a film series. It's a shared cultural mythology, similar to Greek myths, fairy tales, and superheroes. Few franchises reach that level. Star Wars Day exploded because of social media, memes, hashtags, fan art, and cosplay. This marked a turning point where pop culture celebrations became annual, participatory, and global. Fans didn't just consume content, they performed it. Modern fandom holidays like Batman Day or Pokemon Day followed this model. Once Disney acquired Star Wars, May the 4th became officially recognized, used for announcements, releases, and promotions. This reflects a major pop culture shift. Studios now follow fan traditions instead of inventing them. Nostalgia became a central business strategy. Pop culture and marketing merged more tightly than ever. May the 4th works because parents share it with kids. Older fans celebrate alongside new ones. The message is playful, not exclusive. That keeps Star Wars culturally alive even when individual films divide opinion. The day celebrates the idea of Star Wars more than any single installment. The phrase itself matters. A simple pun turned into a ritual shows how pop culture reshapes language, demonstrates collective ownership of a story world. When people say May the 4th, they are participating in a shared cultural week, belonging without needing explanation. So, in simple terms, May the 4th represents a new era of pop culture where fans create meaning, the internet amplifies tradition, franchises become living social experiences. Celebrations matter as much as the content. So, May the 4th isn't just a Star Wars joke, it's a symbol of how modern pop culture works interactive, communal, nostalgic, and fan driven. And that's your nostalgic rewind. This week in pop culture history gave us everything. What's your favorite throwback moment? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a ride in the pop culture time machine. Until next week, stay nostalgic, stay fabulous.